Eliza Tingey, and today is Saturday, February 1st, 2020. Alright, Grandma and Grandpa, what good friend do you think you have known the longest?
Good friend that I've known the longest? I would probably have to say that, I guess you mean not a family member.
Right, yeah.
Okay, well, my earliest friend was Helen Bauer. I think I've talked about her before, but we were friends when I was just a little girl in Payson, Utah, because our parents were best friends, Edith and Heber Bauer, and they lived just kitty corner backyards from us, and we used to run back and forth and play with each other. My sister Marilyn and myself and Helen were a little Three Musketeers kind of group. And that was the family that had moved to California. When I was 6, we went to visit them, and that brought our family to California. And so that's...
and did you stay in touch with her?
We did. Her father died just a couple years after we moved down there, died from polio during the polio epidemic. And so her mother, they just had the 2 children, Helen and her little brother Boyd. And so her mother came back to Provo and finished her PhD and ended up teaching English at BYU for many, many years. But we did, because she was my mother's best friend, and we did always stay in touch. Yeah, her, and actually Helen and I and Marilyn were roommates at BYU for a year together, and then Helen went into the nursing program and moved to Salt Lake for that. And my sister Marilyn got married that year, so we just had the one year that we were college roommates, but we did stay in touch, and she passed away quite young from a brain tumor, but I still count her as my
Longest
best friend.
Yeah.
And my adult friendship would have to probably be Sheila Olson from Idaho Falls, who moved into our ward when John was bishop, and our kids were about the same ages, and we've stayed in touch, and now she passed away a year ago.
Losing all your friends.
That's what happens when you get too old, I guess.
I would probably say my 2 closest friends growing up, and we stayed friends over the years, were Keith Hart and John Anderson. We were in the same ward in Idaho Falls, and we just grew up together. We were in the same grade at school, went to all the schools together, did a lot of things. We played in a band together and so forth, and Keith just recently passed away, and John ended up being a professor at Utah State. Teaches art. He's retired now. Keith stayed and worked in Idaho Falls, had a great family, and we've stayed in touch over the years.
It was really, really nice when we served in the temple, and when John was temple president, Keith and his wife were ordinance workers, so that was
Very cool.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you enjoy, like, playing with your friends, either as a little kid or a teenager? What would you guys do?
Well, as little kids, we just played outside a lot. As we got to be teenagers, we used to play a lot of Monopoly and go places. Of course, I wasn't living around Helen at the time. We had other friends when I was a teenager. We had a very close group of LDS kids in our ward that stayed really close together because we were in the minority by far, as far as members of the church. So we had a wonderful group, and we just did a lot of fun things together. We used to dance and just go to the beach. Just a lot of fun like that.
I remember the games growing up were basically outdoor games, baseball, football, basketball. Of course, basketball was inside. We always, as a smaller child, I remember just mainly playing any eye over throwing the ball over the roof and so forth and things of that nature.
Night games in
A
the
lot of-
summer.
yeah. And then in the teenage years was more basketball. We always had an advantage. We liked to play other teams in our ward basketball court because it had a low ceiling. And the other teams would get frustrated because they'd always hit the roof and ceiling, and we were already used to it, so we had an advantage that way.
That was fun.
Okay.
That's good.
Let me ask
Oh.
Eliza, I don't know if you want
Yeah,
to
go
film
ahead.
this or not, but Eliza,
Uh-huh.
going through a box of my mother's old things,
Uh-huh.
a while ago, this surfaced, and I've been,
Oh.
can you tell what that is?
The
It's a
curling
really
iron.
antique one.
Yeah.
Look at the old cord on that.
Oh, so yeah, to keep it, yeah. That would be hot.
That would, wouldn't it? I don't know if it had something else on it, but
Yeah, I'm sure you could put like a rubber thing on it. Have you plugged it in?
I haven't dared plug it in. That cord looks,
The cord might give out, I know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
might
know if
short
it
it.
would be, but I didn't know if you
That's cool
would
though.
like to, I think you're the person in the family that
We're
could
trying to get rid of
inherit
things. You can throw it away. but
It's an
we won't.
antique.
That is cool.
I mean, I remember of sitting
We
as a
have-
child and just having to sit so
Yeah.
still and being afraid I'd get
That would
burned,
take
you know?
forever, yeah. We have antique barber scissors at our shop from like, it's like the 40s or something.
So you
They're
can make a
cool.
little
Yeah, I
display
know,
of
that
Yeah,
is
that
it.
cool.
could be
I'll
fun.
take it, yeah, if you're
so
not gonna do anything.
There you have it.
Thank you.
Well, if anyone can do something with it, Eliza can.
Yeah.
Because I can't bring myself to throw it away because I remember of just having to sit on that stool and hold still while either mother or my aunt.
I have one
my
about
aunts would
this
do.
small at work.
Uh-huh.
That's funny. Thank you.